In this video, we're going to look at installing and opening Debrief. So before you install Debrief, please check the following. If you haven't installed Debrief before, ensure you've downloaded the latest version from GitHub. And the address here, as you can see in the address bar, is https://github.com/debrief/releases. And then you can see the downloads. And there's 6 downloads here. And please download the version that corresponds to your operating system. Now I'm using Windows 32-bit. I'm using a 64-bit version of Windows 7, but the Debrief 32-bit runs on my machine. So I'm going to download with IDM, Internet Download Manager, and then the file is going to download. Now I'll just fast forward this bit because you don't want to watch me download Debrief, but it should only take a few minutes, obviously depending upon the speed of your internet connection. If you do have an older legacy version of Debrief, please uninstall it using Windows, Start menu, Settings / Control Panel, and then Add Remove Programs, because you'll need to do that before upgrading to a new version. And here we go, only a few seconds left, and then my download manager will complete the positions and we're done. Now I can close my browser, I don't need that anymore. And here we see Debrief NG on my desktop. Now I'm going to extract it to my desktop, and once I've done that, I'm going to move it to a different location on my hard drive. And that's Debrief NG, Windows 32-bit extracted. Now I'm going to copy to folder, and I'm going to put it in my D drive. Make new folder, and I'm going to call this Debrief. And that's where I'm going to copy it. Now I'm going to start Windows Explorer. This is just my personal preference. You might do something differently, but here's my version of Debrief, or my folder for Debrief. I right click, then I come up to favorites, and I right click again, and then I add current location to favorites, and there we go. Now I don't want these extra levels of folders in my Debrief file, so I'm going to select all, cut, and then Control V paste into the root Debrief folder, and then I'm going to delete the empty folder. So that's Debrief downloaded, extracted, unzipped, and ready to run. Now to run Debrief, all you need to do is double click on the debriefng.exe file and Debrief will load. It takes a few seconds, and in the meantime I'm just going to tidy up my desktop. I don't need the zip file and I don't need that folder there anymore, and then I can empty my recycle bin, and Debrief will open for the first time. I'll just maximize that to my window, and as you can see we have the welcome screen. This is all displayed on your first visit to Debrief, but it's always accessible from within Debrief via the help menu. So you can click up here, and then at the top you have the welcome option. And when the page loads, you'll see the following 5 buttons: Overview, What's New, First Steps, Tutorials, and Workbench. So obviously if this is your first time using Debrief, it's a good idea to click on the overview to get an overview of the features of the program. In What's New, we're constantly updating the software, so if you want to see the exciting new features, then click on this button. Next we have First Steps, and we all have to start somewhere, so if you'd rather read the first steps than follow the written tutorial, then feel free to click here. And then with the tutorials, if you click on this option, then you'll see another version of this tutorial. However, it's always handy to know where to find these. If you want us to find the tutorials again, you can click on Help, then come here and do it that way. And finally, we have the Workbench button, and the Workbench is the main interface for performing your plot analysis and other tasks. And this is the place where you will do all of your work. We won't go into all the features or what you'll find by clicking on these items, as I know you're raring to go, but I would recommend you explore and familiarize yourself with these elements when you have the time. For the next sections, if you are an experienced computer user, then you'll already know about main menus, context-sensitive menus, and toolbars. And if this is the case, feel free to skip them. However, I would recommend that you do read the section on views, as they are an important component of Debrief. So what we'll do now is we'll click on the Workbench button, and the welcome screen will close. And as you can see, you will see the Create Project dialog box. So every Debrief project requires a name. So you can either go with the default name of Debrief project, or you can enter something more meaningful. I'll name mine Debrief Test Project 01. My own personal preference is for lowercase mostly and underscores, but you can enter whatever you require. You can leave the Add Debrief Samples and the Always Check at Startup boxes ticked, and then click on the OK button. The dialog box will close and you'll see an empty Debrief interface consisting of various items and objects, and we'll go over these in a second or two. If you look in the Navigator window, you'll see your project name folder. In Debrief, this small window is called a view. And there are different types of view in Debrief, all of which perform different functions. E.g., if I click on the Time Controller tab, you see we have a set of video type controls, which is very useful for displaying time elements in Debrief. And underneath the Time Controller, we have the Property view, we have the Track Tote view, and we have the Chart Overview. And again, each of these views performs a different function. We won't look at these now, but these views and other interface items such as toolbars, menus, and the plot editor, the large empty space you see here to the right of the views, make up a large part of Debrief. Though empty, the interface may seem a little daunting at first, but we will work through all of these items and you'll then come to realize that it's actually quite easy to work with. However, as with any new application, it's a good idea to configure it exactly how you want it for your own purposes. In Debrief, these are called preferences, and though you don't know that much about the software as yet, you will understand each of these settings.